Hello, it's Jazzy Ray here. This video is going to be a little bit different. I know this videos like these do not get the most views, but I don't give a shit because I feel like whoever watches it and gets something from it, that's really all that matters. So I wanted to just bring up a quote, okay? And in fact, that's the title of the video. So I'm gonna just say the quote because it's a quote that I live by. Um, and maybe if it may touch somebody, maybe a gem that you want to keep or pass to someone else who needs it. You can't run away from your pain because wherever you run, there you will be. You have to learn to water your spiritual garden and then you'll be free. That quote is a Janet Jackson quote. It came from her song Special, which is on the Velvet Rope album, which came out in October of 1997. So this year, the album will be 24 years old. Can I just say that album saved my life? I don't know if you've seen videos in the past. Um, I have a video called My Self Love Journey, and I do want to make another video discussing my teenage years a little bit more because I feel like teenagers go through the most shit and they hide it so well, you know. And I first listened to the Velvet Rope, sorry, Velvet Rope album. I first listened to it when I was 16 years old. So this was 2012, okay? And it's my favorite Janet album of all time. Like, I love that album. Every song I can relate to. But for some reason, when I was a teenager, hearing that song, Special, and hearing that quote, hearing that line, I'm like, what does that mean? Water your spiritual garden. Why does she keep saying that? Because she says that throughout the entire album. Water your spiritual garden. And she mentions something in the song about watering the soul, you know, soul like the dirt, you know. And now that I've finally, I'll be 25 in a couple of months. That's crazy. 25. I'll be 25. And I went through so much. And I now know what that quote means. It means, we have to heal. We can't just run away from the problem or things that happen in our past. We have to deal with our past. And I know that, that could be a painful thing. In fact, she says that throughout the song Special. We have to deal with our past. I know it's painful, but there you find specialness because everybody needs to feel real special. And the thing about it is, this is documentary, and it's not the easiest documentary to watch because it's super duper long, but it's about finding your bliss. That thing, that one thing about you that just makes you it makes you special and it sets you apart from everyone else. That one thing that people may have criticized you for, that's your gift. That's your gift right there. Growing up, I always got picked on for being different. And I'm an empath. Oh, my eyes, my lashes. I'm an empath. So I'm able to feel different energies and see different energies. You know, I have the ability to put myself in other people's shoes. It's probably why acting is that's probably a part of the reason why acting is a career I want to get into. But I'm able to do that. And I'm able to channel different energies. And it sounds cool, but it's really stressful and it could be dangerous because you could be channeling something that's like demonic, you know. I'm not gonna go too much into that. I'll do a video talking about being an empath, maybe, but I got picked on a lot for being, sensitive, for being emotional, or sometimes being too angry. My feelings. I always, got picked on for that. So I already knew I was different, and I used to hate myself for it. But now I'm at a point where I'm just, you gotta, when it comes to self love, you gotta go through the stages. First, you gotta get to know yourself. Then you like yourself, and then you love yourself. Just like when Jan was talking about that garden, there's steps you have to take to have a beautiful garden, right? You gotta plant the soil. First you gotta learn how to garden. Then you gotta plant the soil and tend to it. Tend to it. Because it doesn't just happen overnight. You have to go out and water the plants. You have to go out and water the soil. You have to go out and fertilize. I don't know shit about gardening. But if you're a gardener, you know what you have to do, okay? But tend to yourself. Schedule that self love, what do you call it? Self time, me time. Schedule that for yourself and do what makes you happy. Pamper yourself up, ladies. It's okay. And pamper yourself doesn't necessarily mean you have to, get your hair done and stuff like that. Do your hair how you want to. You don't have to, do the whole lace front, on that. Just feel good. Make yourself beautiful. Whatever beauty means to you, do it. Write down some affirmations. Say some affirmations to yourself. Look in the mirror and tell yourself that you love yourself. Hell, kiss the mirror if you have to. Do whatever you have to do. And just keep on maintaining that. It took me years to get to this point. Like I've stated in my self-love video, I tried to commit suicide 3 times. 3. And then it went to wanting to commit suicide to just wanting to die. Until I listened to the Velvet Rope album and just learned that Janet has celebrities go through stuff too, because they're humans just like everybody's human. Well, we got the dog talking around, but you get what I'm trying to say. Like, everybody goes through stuff. And all the money in the world, that means nothing. All the lace fronts you can have, all the clothes you can have, it's all to just fill a void for something. If you don't love yourself and you're buying that stuff, because you're always gonna want more and more and more and more. When really you should just smell the roses and stay present. Meditate if it helps. Be out in the sun. I would go out. I'm on break right now, but I would go out. It's windy out there, but I actually wanted to start going out and just going into the woods and just meditate, And I just feel like, and then as far as dating is concerned, just look at the time. As far as dating is concerned, for some that could be like a void. You could be dating to fill a void. The craziest thing that you can do, and I'm speaking from experience, the craziest thing you can do is want to date somebody just so you can love yourself. Like, you want a boyfriend or girlfriend, you want them to love you so you can love you. Like with SZA's song, I can be your supermodel if you believe. I need you. It's like she's saying the only way I can love myself is if you love me. What? That makes no sense at all. That makes no type of sense. But it's like when you get to a point where you love yourself, it's like that makes no sense. But believe it or not, that's how some people think, because there's that void. When you should love somebody, you should want someone to love you, And you should love somebody because you want to share the love that you both have, you know? Not because I don't love myself. So maybe you could, they may not love themselves. And then my thing is, if you don't love your, and also I want to say too, self-love too, it's about boundaries as well. Knowing what you're willing to put up with, what you're not willing to put up with. That's why I kind of feel bad for Derek Jackson's wife, because I don't know what's going on in their marriage. That now he could be manipulating her and he forcing her to do stuff, but I feel like that on some level, she don't really love herself for real, because it's like, or maybe they are working it out, but at the same time, if this is a repetitive thing, like if he's just been cheating throughout the entire marriage, even before they got together, which that's kind of what he was saying. It's like, how much can you really love yourself if you're willing to put up with that all this time? And he's been doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it, and you know about it. How can you do that? You know, I wouldn't put up with that, you know. But so boundaries, knowing when a person cannot, because the thing is, a person can only do to you what you allow them to do. And I'm not, and the thing is, when I say stuff like that, and then when I talk about, you know, not always playing the victim, being responsible, people want to come out and talk about like rape victims, and I'm not doing this, you know, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I'm just saying like rape victims or sexual, you know, molestation victims and stuff. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people who purposely who throw stones and hide their hands, and they play victim all the time. And I'm not gonna lie, I used to be the one to play victim all the time. I always felt like people, because all my life I've been criticized and picked on just for wanting to be who I am. That I always felt like I was in constant defense mode 24/7. And I would be the one going and attacking somebody because I felt attacked, but really they didn't do anything to me. I'm attacking the wrong person. And I'm going to get into that because I want to talk a little bit about mental health. I'm going to do a separate video because I do have something that I want to put out there, you know, to help other people with the same mental health struggles that I have. But I used to do that, you know. Now I kind of rationalize my thinking, and I'm just like, okay, is this really a big deal, Jazz? I don't think they meant it that way, you know. I don't think they meant it that way. I just talked to that person, but I'm talking about me, okay? I'm not being like Derek, okay? But I'm talking about me. Sometimes I have to think, okay, did they really hurt me? Really, like, did they really like? Did they really like? Can I kind of just let that go? Is it that big of a deal? I don't think they meant it that way. Whereas back in the day, not that long ago, actually, I went from, oh my God, how dare she say that to me? And it could be something so little, you know, and then now I'm playing the victim, but really I'm the one who was the aggressor in the first place, you know? So, for self-reflection, setting those boundaries, man. And that's something that a former friend taught me, you know, set boundaries. And it wasn't like she told me to set boundaries. It was more so of me just looking back at the friendship and realized some boundaries should have been set. And I love myself so much that I want to teach other people how to love themselves. This is what I tell my clients all the time, you know. You have to set those boundaries. You have to tend to yourself. Self-love doesn't just happen at an instant. It takes years. It may take decades, okay? Look at Janet Jackson. It took her decades to love herself. And now she's at a point where she does love herself. She doesn't have to prove anything to anybody anymore. You know? Look at Beyonce. You can tell Beyonce loves herself. And she's so humble about it, you know? She doesn't just think of herself, you know? I just never got that vibe from her. I don't care what people say. I never got that vibe that Beyonce only cares about herself. You know, if she only cared, think about it. Beyonce songs are affirmations. They're daily affirmations. Tell them, say, I look so good tonight. Come on, that's an affirmation. Flawless. I'm flawless. Come on now. That's affirmations. That I do feel like in the beginning of her solo career, she could have been saying some affirmations for herself. But I feel like now that her father does not manage her anymore and she's pretty much putting out what she wants to put out now. Not that she didn't want to put out those other songs, but her songs are affirmations, man. Her songs are affirmations. And I can see why she has a lot of supporters because they're positive affirmations. Beyonce doesn't have not one damn negative song. Not one damn negative song. I don't give a shit if the song is about cheating. She's telling us to leave, you know, or hey, listen, how you downgraded. You know what I mean? Like, is it that I'm too much for you to handle? You know, because normally you have the songs that maybe I'm not enough for him. No, Beyonce's like, maybe I'm just too much for you. You know, like yes, you know. I don't really look up the Jay-Z and Beyonce as couple goals though, because I don't know if I would necessarily stay in that marriage, but they're positive affirmations, you know, and you know, Janet and Beyonce are two singers I definitely admire, two celebrities I admire. I don't worship them, I admire them. Okay, but yeah, you know, water your spiritual garden. Just take this time, do something for yourself today. Do something positive for yourself today. And I had another video coming up. I wanted to talk about sex, but from a spiritual perspective, not like an actual freaky nasty perspective, okay? Because I feel like some people don't really know the power of sex and how that could be like a manifestation tool. You can manifest the best or the worst with sex. So I wanted to do that. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to go log back into work. Log back in. That's some bullshit. But anyway, log back into work. I do have a group that I'm doing coping survival skills. Maybe I'll do a video talking about coping skills, you know. But yeah, I'll see you guys when I see you guys. Bye.